It's time for a cup of red, so let's fill your cup with rad pop culture vibes. And now your over-caffeinated hosts, Mike and Katie. Welcome, kids, to Cup of Rad. We are getting very amped up for Aquaman, so this week we've decided to do something a little different. We are going to go with a lightning round of 20 questions about DC Comics and Universe.
Dun dun dun.
We're going to start off, we're going to go right into the meat and the potatoes. Favorite DC hero?
Wonder Woman.
Nightwing. See, it was going to be fast. Any explanation of why Wonder Woman?
You know what? Actually, the reason why is because of the Greek mythology. That would have driven me to it. And I really liked that character. And then just experiencing it, I really liked everything about her. You?
Nice. Nightwing, it's the idea that he was the original Robin, Dick Grayson, and he grew up and he became his own hero. He's not stuck in Batman's
There's so many
shadow.
of them that don't change, right?
Exactly.
So he actually evolved and became a different character and broke out of that shadow.
Yeah, and his design is just super cool. With the blue and the black, just as slick to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So.
Excellent. Question number 2. Favorite villain?
The Joker. Very cliche sounding, I know, but when written right, he should make you laugh and cringe.
Exactly.
And most of that writing was actually even done in the animated series, but there's some pretty excellent Joker stories out there.
And for me, it would be Harley Quinn. The other thing is it sounds cliche, but I love the crazy mixed with the serious, mixed with the everything. It's just a really interesting character, I think.
Right.
So
sometimes favorites are just favorites because they're fun.
Yeah,
right.
I think
I have other
it's just
villains
fun.
that I like and all that, but if I want to read a certain type, then that's where I go to, because I love how, in the case of the Joker, he's changed over the years to be different things.
Yeah.
I don't really like the Insano one that's been happening now, especially when the New 52 introduced like the cut off face and all that. Mm-hmm. But you know, for the most part.
Well, even for me, for Harley Quinn, I like the old original stuff more when she was in the Jester suit, more with Joker. Mm-hmm. I don't like her as much of a standalone, but okay.
Favorite team?
Favorite team? I would say Birds of Prey, specifically the Gail Simone 2003 run, her original run, comics 56 to 100. I really like that.
And if people don't know what the Birds of Prey are, because they're going to know a version coming out in 2020.
That is not right at all. Oh my goodness.
But the version that you know and you like.
We got Babs, we have Black Canary, we have Huntress.
And then it was occasionally Cassie Kane as...
Yeah, she wasn't really in there as much for mine.
But it was just those three, right?
But it was just them.
Yeah.
And I really liked having Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
I say not Babs, I guess I would say make sure she was Oracle, because I really liked her as that character.
Yeah.
She was really finding her own strength.
It brought strength to person with a disability.
Yeah, she found a way to still make a difference in the world, feel positive and confident about herself with her reality of her situation of being paralyzed.
Yeah.
So why not celebrate that? And I think I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah.
She did a really good job, and I loved Canary, Huntress working together. It was really enjoyable.
Nice.
For you, favorite team?
I'm going to go with the Teen Titans.
That makes sense.
And then the original Titans, Dick Grayson, Wally West, Beast Boy, Raven, Starfire, Cyborg. That incarnation of it.
There you go.
And I've enjoyed other ones as well. But that original Teen Titans, because that really grabbed me, especially because when I was getting into comics too, I was a teenager more.
Yeah, so it would fit with you. You could relate better with them, right?
And it was just a really cool team, and I've really loved almost all interpretations, especially when it came to the media wise. Mm-hmm. But those original Marv Wolfman era Titans is just fantastic.
Excellent. And next question, must read storyline or graphic novel, Mike?
I'm gonna give you 3. As much as I had the Marv Wolfman Teen Titans, the Jeff Johns Teen Titans redo where you got Wonder Girl and Superboy was on it. The thing I love the most is there's the one scene in it where Impulse, Deathstroke, shoots at his knee in it, and it's a fantastic scene because the doctors are trying to figure out how to fix it. So he shoots out his knee, the doctors are trying to fix it, trying to get the bullet out because he's like a shotgun blast to the knee, but he's healing as they're trying to cut out what they need to fix.
Well, and then his metabolism's too high to use anesthesia.
Yeah, so it was just it's a great scene, and that his run on that book was really fantastically done for I guess it's not technically a modern era Titans anymore because we've had New 52 and Rebirth, but that one there was one of the best. From that, then McDaniels and Chuck Dixon's Nightwing. The art in that is brilliant because McDaniels created such a flow and movement with the character. You had ghosting of the character as he's flipping over the top, and
so it really portrayed his acrobatic aspect.
Exactly. Their run on Nightwing, I think, is just classic, and it'll go down in history as the best Nightwing. There's been other good stories since from a lot of writers and creators, but that one there, they really took the character and really made it amazing. One of my favorite Batman stories I think everyone should check out, believe it or not, has nothing to do with Frank Miller.
What?
Is Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale's The Long Halloween. That is Batman is best. Batman is a detective. Fantastic.
Yeah, I remember you really loved that one.
And Tim Sale's art in that is brilliant. His work with Loeb on the Batman universe that they did, all great things. So those are my 3 go-tos for must read.
That makes sense. For me, I have 2 favorite runs. Number 1 would be, again, Jeff Johns, but the Wally West run. 164 to 225 for the comics. It was like 6 graphic novels, and that was my main introduction into reading the comics for Wally West, and I absolutely love it because it goes through his whole rogues gallery. It's an awesome storyline.
Yeah.
And then my second one would be the Greg Rucka Wonder Woman.
Not the
2003.
Rebirth, right? Yeah.
And 195 to 226. That is still the epitome of a Wonder Woman storyline to read for me because I love all the Greek mythology in it. I love that Circe was in it and Medusa. It's entrenched in the Greek mythology, and I love it. I should go back and read it again for sure.
There you go.
But I'm never going to get rid of those graphic novels, that's for sure.
Favorite DC writer artist team?
You know what? It flows right in from that last one there is going to be both Rucka and Johns because I love what they did for those characters. They wrote such good stories to me. So I really like what they did with the characters. They really respected but pushed boundaries all at the same time. Yeah. It's I'm going to take what was the traditional and I'm also going to add my own spin to it. What about you?
It goes back to the must read.
That makes sense. Why not?
Dixon,
right?
McDaniels, Loeb, and Sale. The list for some of my favorite creators for the DC.
Well, I have better artists. Other artists too that I really enjoy.
There's so much in there, and it's hard to come up with. But those are ones that I love their work, especially within the DC universe.
Well, it's one of those where I can see those names and be like, oh yeah, okay, Mike would like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, I love Greg Rucka for everything he writes.
Yeah.
Novels, graphic novels, everything.
Yeah, he's a fantastic
he's just a
writer.
Good artist.
Yeah.
Next question, number 6, favorite live action DC movie.
This one's a hard one. I'm going to go with my first real incarnation of Batman, the Tim Burton Batman and Batman Returns. Yes, there's been better portrayals, but for fun and enjoyment, Keaton as Batman and in those movies felt more like I was watching a comic book than any of the more modern stuff.
That makes sense.
And I can get more irritated with the Nolan stuff because there is some good points in there, but then there's some really bad things in there too.
Yeah.
The original Tim Burton stuff, that is, I would say, is my jam for live action. It's still something like that was something I was excited to show our son.
Well, I was going to say you were excited to show.
Yeah, that is something that's where I would sit.
For me, my first instinct actually is Men of Steel.
Yeah, you really love that. I
really like that movie. It's something I feel like I could watch it over and over again. I being a little bit younger than you, I didn't grow up the same with Batman as well, but I really liked Man of Steel. It was I knew about Christopher Reeve's Superman, but this one really spoke to me, and that's my default. I think I go to.
Yeah, it makes sense. I would love to say that there'd be new stuff that we could talk about.
Yes, that would be great.
There's bits
DC.
And pieces of B versus S.
And I love Wonder Woman.
Justice
I really
League
did.
And all that.
But it doesn't have the same
They're not.
When I think about I want to watch a DC movie, I will default to Man of Steel over Wonder Woman or something like that. And I don't quite know the reason, but
sadly, the more with the newer stuff, the more I watch, the more I get irritated.
Yeah, and
but there's still moments. There's still moments though that I really do like. So, favorite DC live action TV show?
I got to go with the original Smallville, original live action DC. Old school. None of this new stuff.
Well, that's second wave still, because you had the New Adventures of Lois and Clark and the original
Okay,
Flash.
I'm sorry. I'm not old enough for that. This was the original to me.
Yeah.
And that was a really big part of our relationship in the past of watching Smallville.
I really enjoyed the show. I put that up there because it really did a good job of bringing this Superman mythos to it, but still keeping it in Smallville. Michael Rosenbaum is Lex Luthor.
I liked that, opposed to the current with Flash and Arrow and everything, that it wasn't trying to be anything but Superman's backstory. So we didn't, when it got later on and they started trying to be more
After about
Superman,
season 5 and 6
and
is when
they
it started
couldn't
getting more
quite
rocky.
actually make him be Superman, then
Yeah.
it was like, well, this is crap now.
Yeah.
But when it was him still struggling and growing up, and it was just, this is what it is, it's not him being Superman, it's a Clark Kent story, I thought it was really interesting and well done.
Yeah. I think, though, looking forward, Legends of Tomorrow, this new season, may, unless they jump a shark really fast, this season could usurp
Because
it.
I've actually, you know what, because we dropped Arrow and Flash
Yeah.
because it was like, oh gosh, we're not really excited to watch this again, and I am excited to watch Legends of Tomorrow
Yeah.
because it's like, this is gonna be ridiculous and fun.
And everyone on it is well acted.
And that's what it should be.
It's not so doom and gloom like Arrow and Flash. And
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Doom and gloom is enough in the Riverdale world. Ain't something fluffy.
Right?
Next question is favorite live action actor in TV or film?
As much as I love Keaton as Batman, and Kim Conroy is my Batman, but if I had to go for like a live action interpretation, I'm really digging Ben Affleck. I know it's sad to hear that he might not be Batman anymore, and he kind of got
It's very
shafted.
sad. It makes me cry.
But what was in those movies, that was one of the things I liked about Beavis S, and that's the thing I liked about Justice League. I liked his Batman.
I liked his
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne and
Yeah.
Batman. He could actually play both, and that was
Right?
impressive.
For you?
For me, because of Man of Steel, I love Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
I loved him as Superman, and
I think he could be a great Superman.
I think it's fantastic because he does another combination. He's a good Clark Kent as well.
Yeah.
He's not the bumbling, like obnoxious. He's just, he still has confidence still as Clark Kent though. And I really enjoyed him as Superman.
Yeah. I wish that he would be given a movie.
It's the movies that are
to
shafting him.
portray a lot more, powerful and needed,
Yes.
hopeful Superman. Right?
Yes,
So,
he had gotten to the point. That's why I still liked Man of Steel, is there was still hope in there.
Yeah.
And then it all came crumbling down.
favorite DC animated show.
For me, it would have to be Justice League. That one was my introduction really to it, and I really enjoyed all the characters and how it was written, and I liked the complex storylines. They were all 2 to 3 part episodes, and they could really tell an interesting story. It was like a comic arc.
Yeah.
So-
where you watch that show and you're like, why is this not the live action movie?
Right?
Why did they not look at that
They
and
can
say,
make
hey,
all of those and take them as bases to make live action
because
movies.
it's a brilliant show. Even Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, I was, because I remember when it switched over, we were like, oh my goodness, I didn't like the short episodes and there were so many people. But for what it was, if you just take that, it was still really enjoyable because you did get to experience different characters that you would never have known otherwise.
Exactly.
And, when I was thinking about this, I'm like, oh, well, I like this one and this one and this. Oh, that came from Justice League Unlimited. Okay, maybe it wasn't as bad as it really, I wanted it to be, right?
Yeah.
So what about for you?
It's still Batman the Animated Series. That is, with rewatching it too, it's a amazing television show.
It is so dramatic, and
Yeah.
like I can't believe how many times I've watched that with our son, and I'm like, wow, half of this is going to go over his head because it is higher level thinking.
Yeah.
And really, it's impressive that was okay for children at that time.
Right?
So it shows the difference in our society, and it
dumbed
makes
down
me
kids'
sad.
cartoons are
right?
now.
You're like, wow, this is our expectation of what kids would find enjoyable.
Right? Well, it's because all the shows are getting downgraded to 10, 11-minute episodes.
Yeah, because it's like, as much as we love Teen Titans Go, because it's ridiculous, but Teen Titans Go versus Batman animated series, there is different children watching those shows.
Yeah, totally.
And so it's an interesting commentary on our world.
I think that's also why we're raising a weirdo, because he's finding appreciation in these stories, right?
He's actually been the one asking to watch them, and
Yeah.
he has continued. It's because for so long we wanted to show him, but I can see now that he would never have been ready. And for him to ask about them, even if he doesn't understand everything about it, he's still finding them enjoyable.
That whole Bruce Timm universe that he created, Batman Beyond,
Batman
even
Beyond was amazing.
Superman the animated series.
Yeah, it was really good.
All of them are such good shows that they're so classic and they stand up. Mm-hmm. You know, some of the Marvel animated,
They're not going to stand. You're not going to go back and
stand
like,
up.
I want to, 5 years later, 10 years later, 20 years later, I'm not going to go back and watch them.
Well, we tried when it was on Hulu, when Spider-Man and X-Men was on Hulu.
Yeah.
And our son, they didn't catch him. It didn't grab his attention. So that whole universe is my jam.
So following on with the animated, Mike, what's your favorite DC animated movie?
There has been so many DC animated movies over the years.
Lost track.
I still go all the way back to Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah, you love. Well, even Kevin Conroy knows that that's an excellent movie.
That's true. He does. He's just like, that's an awesome movie.
He is the authority on it, so you can't argue now with Batman.
Yeah, because I keep watching all the new stuff that they bring out, and like at first when the animated studio that they were bringing out, there was like PG-13.
We were buying all of them.
We bought them, and then I started falling out, and then I'd only waited for like Black Friday sales, and now I'm like, oh yeah, when it hits Netflix, we'll watch it.
Maybe we'll watch it.
Yeah. So that's where I've kind of gotten. So when I think about that question, Mask of the Phantasm, because like that is an amazing Batman movie. Like that is the best Batman movie.
Yeah, that makes sense. For me, I thought about this, and I'm in that boat where there's so many of them that I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that one, but whatever. So I know Mask of the Phantasm, and I know that I really enjoy it. But to actually say I have a favorite, I wouldn't have really thought about it, but that's definitely one that I remember.
It's also
enjoy.
Edgy for a PG-13 kids anime.
Yeah, I remember when I first you had
Batman
me watch it. I was like,
knocks
oh
out Joker's
my
teeth, and there's blood spray and all that.
Now I just want to watch it again.
So it's a fantastic one.
It is, definitely.
If you haven't watched it, definitely hunt down Mask of the Phantasm, because it is a great Batman cartoon.
Next.
Okay, a hot button thing that will probably make some people angry.
Most likely.
DC's most overrated character.
For me, it's also one of my favorites, but Harley Quinn. She has become so overused. And not to make me sound like I am better or any sort of, more deserving fan, but I have liked her from earlier stage. The idea of back before she was cool.
Yeah.
I have no problem if you fall in love with the character now and you really enjoy it and you want to try to embrace that. Great. I love the people who found her from Suicide Squad. Awesome. But at the same time, I liked her more as a somewhat secondary character.
Yeah.
I don't think what I like about her is not strong enough to drive her as a primary character. And I read some of the comics now, and I just don't have that same silliness or that same enjoyment. She's just not strong enough to hold herself because she's changed.
Well, I tried reading the Rebirth thing, and I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, she's just not the same person,
Yeah. No, I totally agree. She was better as a secondary character, either to Joker or to Ivy.
Yes.
Right? She was
part of her character is the fact that she needs someone to depend on.
Yes.
She needs to be loved. She needs to be wanted. Yep. And, even with, say, Suicide Squad, where she still depended on Joker, though. She's still
then she tried to attach to Deadshot.
Yeah, everything that she's doing, the way she portrays herself, she is still needing to look up to someone and do something for someone. As much she tries to stand up and say, I'm a strong, confident woman all by myself and I can do it, but she's not really.
Yeah.
And that's part of the psychosis of her.
Yeah.
And then when you try to take her off and be by herself, it just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So, you?
Well, see, with Harley, she's become Deadpool. She's become DC's Deadpool.
She's DC's Deadpool.
She's breaking the fourth wall.
Yes.
She's, that's what they've decided to make her, and I think it's lame.
Well, and then too, it's like Deadpool. Then you start bridging the gap of age groups, and then it becomes a little somewhat inappropriate sometimes, where it's not the way the character should have been speaking.
Exactly. For me, it's Booster Gold. I don't know why people love him so much.
My experiences from the cartoon, he's
just an ass in the cartoons.
Yes,
it's like
he's so horrible.
He's another one that's kind of like a Deadpool, but without any purpose for being there.
Yeah, like
he's snarky. Sure, I like Billy West as Skeets in the Just League Unlimited.
Yeah.
But
woo.
I don't know. He just bugs me because he
Well, every
always
single time-
he always fucks shit up.
Yeah, every
And
single
they
time
always
he
gotta
would show
clean
up,
his
it's always
messes.
Batman was always having to like, oh, Booster Gold's here. Fuck, everything's gonna go downhill
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Like, why do we want to see this? This isn't cool.
Yeah, I just, I'm sure he had some better times in the old days when he was with Ted Kord, Blue Beetle.
Yeah,
But it's just enough already. Like,
be done with it. And next would be the underrated DC character.
for me, because I'm a Titans fan, I really think that Raven and Beast Boy don't get their props.
That makes sense.
Raven is a son of a demon that's trying to take over the world. She
Yeah.
has those powers. She has multiple brothers that have the same powers. She has all this power and she's trying to bottle it up so she doesn't go all rage beast and fucking kill everyone and enslave the world. Like,
It's a pretty big.
but they
big issue.
downplay it so much. They're just like, oh yeah, it's just that little demon girl off in the corner, whatever. She's moody and blah blah blah. But like, yeah, she just they pumped her up with the Teen Titans cartoon before
Yeah.
Go, and even Beast Boy, like that idea. But they just kind of And that's the thing is, Beast Boy and Raven, every time DC reboots, they stay teenagers.
Why can't they grow
Grayson went off and became his own hero.
Wally
grew up.
Cyborg grew up.
He's now a League member, and now it's like he never really was a Titan, but he was always a League member. Starfire grew up, but she's still on the Titans as a mentor, but yet they kept them always teens. And you look too at Beast Boy, dude can turn into any animal. I'm a kitty now. Even dinosaurs, like even in the comics, they show he turned into dinosaurs. It's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like why not give the guy an actual?
Well, think about how many animals there actually are on Earth.
right.
They all have their own unique talents. He
Yeah.
has a multitude of abilities.
Yeah,
Then.
Any of them, and they always are more of the second string. I'm not saying they need to have their own comic,
Yeah.
but maybe actually like acknowledge that these are fantastic characters and they have been for many years. Like heck, Beast Boy started on the Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
So it just, I wish that they got more credit because
Makes
they
sense.
are really good characters, really well crafted characters from old days that don't get their due. So for yourself,
Makes sense. For me, I am such a Wally West fan. I'm like, why is Wally West not around in the right incarnation? And same with the Rogues Gallery. I think when you group them together, I think they make a really good team and they work really well and they
Yeah.
could cause a lot of mayhem, and they just kind of disappeared.
well, Wally, they gave him kids and the wife.
It was
and
such an
then-
awesome storyline too. Like he was actually going to be the idea of happy and balancing things, and then they all just up and messed it up. You know what? Complaint about Wally though. The kids got a little overdone. And
Yeah.
they got weird. But you know what? He didn't deserve the just like casual. He's gone, and then oh by the way he's back, but he's completely different.
But
and
then, now he's back again, but different.
yeah, and I'm irritated that he just gets thrown around like that. So, DC, if you're listening, bring Wally West back, the
Yeah.
Jeff Johns version. I would be really happy with that.
We'll even go further back and get the Wade back in the day.
Wade would be fine too. Yeah, that would
But
be great.
yeah, they really did him dirty.
Yes.
And they did the fans dirty. It's kind of like he's just in the same boat as what DC keeps trying to do to Nightwing.
Yeah, they keep trying to just
Yeah.
casually get rid of him, and I don't understand that.
So from that, if you could kill off one DC character, who would you kill off? This is gonna be controversial. this is gonna.
Following the Wally West issue, quite honestly, I would kill Barry Allen back off. Dude died, disappeared, whatever.
Well, he died in a crisis, and
He died. He was
predominant.
It was an important event. And I did read the Barry Allen stuff when he came back, and it was an interesting read and an interesting story. I wish it had been in tandem with Wally West still in the universe.
Yeah.
That would have been fine with me. But I would kill him because bringing him back meant Wally disappeared, and I
Yeah.
did not appreciate that.
That makes sense.
What about you?
Another controversial little tidbit.
No,
'cause
let's hear Mike rage a little bit.
a
on this
little
one.
bit, but Jason Todd, the Red Hood, little bitch should have stayed dead. And you know what? If they did bring him back, then he shouldn't have became a vigilante anti-hero. He should have stayed a fucking villain and was a foil for the Robins.
Yeah, that would have been
He didn't have to be a Batman villain. He could have been a Robin villain.
That would have been cool.
Right? But no. We had to bring him back and pretend, oh, he's like the Punisher now. Now he's an anti-hero, and now he's doing this and this and this, and now we're supposed to like him. And you know what?
Like, no, this isn't okay.
We're supposed to like heroes. I'm tired of the anti-hero and all that. So
that makes sense. So next question is your favorite speedster.
Well, we've been talking about Wally a lot.
I know, it feels like it's never-ending Wally
It's
West
the
right now.
Wally podcast.
Because he's awesome.
You know, I really do like Wally West because that's one I grew up with. That's the one that was in the Teen
Well, you
Titans
like it from
cartoons.
it makes sense with
And
the
then
Titans.
the animated series with Michael Rosenbaum
Michael Rosenbaum is Wally West.
is Wally West, and that cartoon, his voice and all that just works so well. I would give props to Impulse, Bart Allen.
Yeah.
Back from Johns' run because
Yes,
that was really good.
that was
but
incredible.
Wally is my number one speedster.
And I'm just going to continue that conversation that, of course, obviously, if you couldn't tell already, Wally West is my favorite. So that's hands down on that one.
Hardcore favorite. It's not just like she had to decide between Wonder Woman or Wally West
for my favorite
for a
overall.
favorite. So it was like yeah. Hot button article. Trunks. All your superheroes. Superman, Batman. Do
Trunks
they wear
or no
trunks
trunks?
or no trunks?
So it depends on if they are animated or live action. Okay, because, we've previously talked about my idea of ranking things and making decisions, so I have to make differentiations. I can't decide overall. So, for me, live-action Superman should not have trunks. But the reasoning why is, have we really seen that? For myself, okay, I'm basing it on, like, a Man of Steel being my favorite. So, no, I think he's
Well,
perfect
the trunks
the way he
looked
is.
weird on Brendan Roth's.
Yes.
They look funky.
It was, it's definitely a Christopher Reeves thing, which is fine, but I like it without it. But then animated, I can't picture it otherwise.
Yeah.
Right? Because that is the animated version of it. So,
Well, honestly, in the New 52 animation, no trunks Superman looks kind of weird.
yes, exactly. And I don't know if it's the texturizing, what exactly makes it that way, or the difference in bright colors or
Yeah.
whatnot. But either
Maybe
way,
the shadowing.
It could be that too. But Batman, no trunks.
Not at all.
Nothing. He doesn't need them.
Superman, I really like the trunks on him. It's talking more out loud. Okay, yeah, I guess the live action no trunks makes a little bit more sense. It's classic though. It's iconic. I look at that and I look at the New 52 stuff without the trunks in the art for the comics, and I'm not a huge fan of it as much.
So in the comics, because you read Superman comics, I don't, right? So
and so I kind of like the red trunks back. It's like a contrast thing almost more.
that makes sense.
Batman goes back and forth for me. I like the trunks when it comes to like the animation because it's classic. But I can see how it makes more sense not to, because you don't have that contrast.
Yeah, because for him,
Right.
you want it to not be
You don't want too
the
big
extra
of a
shadowings, right?
Exactly.
And you don't want a
So-
giant band of some different color.
Yeah, so it's like a wishy-washy question about like what is the actual answer, but yeah,
That makes sense.
In recent years, there's always redesigns. They come every 5 years. Favorite costume redesign?
For me, I picked Rebirth Black Canary. I really like the style. I like the original Black Canary, but I really can get behind the new version by Otto Schmidt there. And I like that it still references a lot of her old feel. She doesn't look 100% different, and it still has functionality to it. It still has a reference to the original. I think he did a great job.
Yeah, that's a beautiful costume that he created with her.
I want to cosplay it.
I'm down with that. Who wouldn't be down with fishnets and a bodysuit? But yeah, no, that's well, I'm in the same boat. I really liked his redesign of Green Arrow.
Yeah.
It had that longbow hunter's look, but still without being too youthful.
Not too Robin Hood-esque, like corny wise, but at the same time, you know, reference to that feel. So yeah, I really like all of that art for them together.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
So for you, who would be in your Legion of Doom?
Okay, so if the Legion of Doom is going to go around, I'm going to get Lex Luthor, Deathstroke, Cheetah, Parasite, Bane, Scarecrow, and then I'm going to add for some magic, Felix Faust.
Nice.
So I figured that would be a pretty, heavyweight team with some added awesome.
Can't miss that.
Added awesome.
For me, I'm going to choose Grodd and Lex Luthor. We got power, but I would love to see their battle of trying to control.
The power struggle.
The power struggle, exactly. And then Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn and Cheetah. I think they would all make interesting struggles, but also be doing what they're told. And I think it would make for an interesting, almost soap opera-esque thing with a lot of power behind it, though.
Yeah, totally.
And then to follow up the Legion of Doom, then who would be in our Justice Leagues? So for me, because my original...
You struggled with this question.
I so struggled with this. My original feeling is based on the animated TV show. So to me, I'm thinking, well, Justice League has to be them. It has to be the animated.
Right.
So I'm just, you know what? That's my default. I'm going to go with that. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. We got a Flash.
Wally West.
Of course, he's Wally West. Let's make that clear. Green Lantern, Manhunter, and Hawkgirl.
Gotcha.
The ones I kind of were wishy-washy on was Manhunter and Hawkgirl. They aren't my absolute favorites. I don't have anything against them by any means, but they weren't my
it's so
first
iconic
choice.
For you that.
But then it was like, but we're so close, so we're just gonna do all of it. What about you?
Well, for me, when I think of Justice League, it is the Trinity. It's Superman, it's Batman, it's Wonder Woman. That is DC's Trinity, and those three should always be on a Justice League.
Yeah.
It feels weird if they're not. But from that, as much as I said I was surprised that Cyborg grew up, Cyborg makes sense because he's tech, he's got some power, and then from that, I've always liked Green Arrow on the Justice League because he gives
some humanity, right?
He's the original social justice warrior.
Exactly.
Without being the extreme. He fights for the little guy. That's what he's supposed to do.
Exactly.
Right? That's why he was created.
Yeah.
So he gives that check and balance to Batman and Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Superman not so much, but it's the Batman and Wonder Woman of like, well, they're just going to get the job done. Green Arrow's like, yeah, but there's people in that building.
Yeah. See, in Wonder Woman, that's what's one of the things I like about her character is that struggle between the morality struggle that she has of the making sure she does take care of people, but she's so freaking strong that she could easily kill everyone.
Yeah.
And so it's an interest, and it's the battle with Superman feel,
exactly.
Right? And so I like that morality issue. So
then you can't really have. I don't think you can have Green Arrow without Black Canary because
she keeps him in line. What are you talking about?
Yeah, she then keeps him in line.
Exactly.
So he's there to keep Batman and Wonder Woman in line, but then she's there to keep him in line.
Yeah.
So from that, then I like the idea of putting Zatanna on the team because
you apparently like a magic flare. I missed the magic flare on both of my teams.
Well, because
Zatanna's awesome.
I look at it, I'm like you got power, and then you got brains, and then you got power again, and then you got strategy and stealth, and then you've just got hand to hand, and Cyborg's all about the tech. So you need
some
magic.
It makes
right?
sense.
So you got to help counterbalance because Superman goes down when there's magic.
That is true.
So
you need someone who can help him when Mr. Misklepick or whatever shows up.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Okay, next, is there a story you would pitch to DC? You're letting your brainchild out. And I'm like,
I know.
I don't know. Copyright Mike.
Put your tinfoil hats on, and here we go. I've always thought Nightwing should have moved to LA. I think he fits to basically say goodbye to the East Coast.
A little bit Playboy feel, Hollywood
and
sun.
He comes out there. I think honestly, I would love to be able to see, as much as I like Grayson and Barbara Gordon together. It's never gonna happen. So why don't we actually get Starfire, his original love? Yeah, get them back together. I think it would be a fun arc where they're out there trying to like live life, be heroes, and then you suddenly find out they've run into Beast Boy and Raven on like a secret like vacation, and they've been like dating for years to bring in what they had in the cartoon.
That's funny.
And everyone be like, what? what? They're dating. But then you realize that Deathstroke's really been pulling the strings, and he's the one that helped them get everything to get over there, and then he tries to kill them. Because I want to see Deathstroke back as a Titans villain.
Yeah.
I want to see him, because he was always like that Reverse Flash kind of feel, where he's like always trying to push them to make them better, because
but wants to kill them.
But wants to kill them. So I'd love to see that, where it's like, it's all that like, how did all this happen? How did we all end up here? And then Deathstroke's like, and battle ensues.
Nice. That makes sense. And because guess what? We're gonna talk more Wally West, because the first thing I thought of was DC, bring back Wally West. Stop messing around with my character. And then secondary on
she doesn't have a story. She's just like, Wally needs to come back and set things straight.
Yeah. And then we're gonna stop with the Deadpooling of Harley Quinn. I also would like that back. I would like her to be a little bit more dependent on the romance. I mean, what happened to the mad love, man?
Yeah.
That was a crux of the character, and I appreciated some of her change in Gotham City Sirens when she was trying to get over him and the girl power thing. I can understand that, because of course it's not a healthy relationship, but they're fucking villains. Who cares about their healthy romance?
Yeah, well,
it's not okay
we've turned villains into wanting to be ourselves. We no longer want to be the heroes. We want to be the villains.
We want to be the villains, and
but yet we want our villains to be good.
Yeah, and I can totally understand the vibe of like, I've cosplayed Harley Quinn, but I know that I'm cosplaying a villain. I don't want to actually be like her in real life. I would much rather be like Wonder Woman in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the difference of that line. But when you try to make them, you take away their craziness. Well, then
you humanize them too much.
Yeah, how do you don't want to make them want to really be like them, and so
no, totally.
That's my issue is stop messing around with that.
Is there any character in the DCU that you've been curious about, but you've never taken the time to really go out and read?
You know what? I've always really enjoyed when you talk to me about Green Lantern. Just the whole gigantic mythos, not a specific Green Lantern.
Yeah.
But I like the interactions that I have had with them in cartoons. Yeah, right. And I enjoyed you talking about the graphic novel, so that would be one that I've never actually read myself, though.
Definitely Jeff Johns' Rebirth for Hal Jordan.
You love
that. Was a fantastic thing that really did a lot for the character.
I got no reason not to read it. Just got to go downstairs.
Right? From that going forward, that had a lot in there that was really awesome.
Yeah.
I fell out in once things got too much into the spectrum of colors, because it got a little too big.
Makes sense. What about for yourself?
You know what? One that I've never really paid attention to, but with watching Legends and stuff like that, I kind of want to look into some Hellblazer, Constantine stuff. I don't know if it would be a character that I'd really follow for a long time.
Yeah.
But I was just more or less curious, because I've never really, I read him in Justice League Dark. It was like, that was cool.
I've had a minor interaction with Constantine in DC Bombshells.
Oh, okay.
Because he got turned into, now I can't remember. A rabbit. There we go. Zatanna and him were hanging out, and he got turned to a rabbit, and I was like, this is interesting. But then after Legends of Tomorrow and watching that and seeing the live action it's like, oh, this is interesting. So, I mean, I love the magical characters, which is ironic then that I don't have them on my teams, but he's an interesting character.
Nice. So. Okay, so we've had our 20 questions, but you know what? In every single thing,
there's always bonuses.
There's always a bonus round.
Always bonuses.
Right? An encore, if so much. So even though we haven't been super like, yay, rah, rah, DC Expanded Universe or whatever, World of Disney, World of DC, whatever they're trying to call it or rebrand it, but we're going to fan cast here for a moment.
We know it'll never happen because they can't get their shit together, but still.
Yeah.
Fan casting.
What is a fan cast you would like to see?
You know what? Dr. Psycho as a character scares the bejesus out of me. I think he could really cause problems, and I loved reading with him in the Wonder Woman arc, and I think Peter Dinklage would be awesome.
Well, he's got that crazy look, because he almost would be the same look as how he looked in Elf with the mustache and
like
the hair.
He would have the perfect
the beard,
kind of conniving look on his face, but he could be just charming enough. But I think about it, and it's like, no, you would play the creepy character so well. I think it'd be fantastic.
For me, I was racking my brain. I was trying to think, because there's so many people that could do some pretty awesome things. But I would love to see the Mad Hatter in a live action movie. I think you could really go twisted with it, especially the fact that he's kidnapping blonde girls just to be his Alice and killing the ones that aren't his Alice.
Yeah, that's pretty
Right?
intense.
And, you know, I would love to see Martin Short do that because he just has that sprightly pixie look to him. But then he just...
Can you imagine him like skipping along and then going and like killing some little girl?
in a top hat.
It would be fantastic.
Right? So,
Oh, that would be great. Martin Short is so wonderful. So
I think he could really do something fantastic with that if he was given the chance. I know he's getting older, so it may or may not work, but it might work too.
we saw his comic thing. He could still skip around, so you know, we'll figure it out.
But there you have it.
20 questions.
20
in bonus. Thanks for joining us.
It's been fantastic. Love hearing you. Tell us some of your answers to those
I'd love to hear
questions.
some of these answers. It would be great to hear if anyone else loves Wally West as much as I do.
That's all she wants to hear. If you're not going to say,
you know what?
you
No,
like Wally
I will
West,
appreciate. I can accept other people's loves and fandoms. It is just my life story with it, right? So, and a severe attachment apparently.
there we have it. Another week, another cup filled with rad. Have yourselves a marvelous week.
Thank you for listening. Love this episode of Cup of Rad? Please subscribe, rate us, and give us a review. Also, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more rad content.